guys, welcome back to my channel. It's G from Happiness and Crafting. So it is Shabby Saturday today. I was going to do like a little paper craft one today, but I got a little waylaid and I started making some fabric hearts. Now these are sort of like layered up with different bits of fabric, and they also do have some paper in them as well. But I just think they are so pretty. I was making them to go on these little bags that I've been making. Well, I put one on here which I need to finish yet, but I just think they look so lovely, and I thought I would just make a few, but these ones I've actually popped paper in between, but it gives it a little bit more body to it, if you know what I mean. But I just love them, and I think these would look really nice. You know, we made those boxes the other day, we covered the boxes. I think these would look lovely on the front of one of those, or on the front of your journals. I just want to sort of like make lots of lovely bits to so I've got a nice stash supply of lovely crafty bits, because these would go on gift bags, they will go on little jars that you want to pop things in. I just think they're lovely. So I'm going to just show you how simple they are to make. Now these ones are just layered up. I've got a little bit of paper on there. I have sewn on the sewing machine, but that's, you know, you don't have to do that. So I've just got a few layers of different fabrics in there, which are just lovely. And then we've got a little flower on the top, a little bit of chain on there, and then I've just got some little grungy bits inside just to give it a little bit more, you know, grunginess, shabbiness. Not grunginess, it's shabbiness, isn't it? So look at that, that's got lots of different layers in there, which are just lovely. I'm hoping you can see that. I did have a darker mat down, but I'm not quite sure whether it was too dark, so I've taken it away now. So we'll just see how we go, but I'm just loving them. They are just so pretty, and then you can just embellish them with whatever you have in your stash. But you know, you can use all sorts of bits of fabric that you have, but they are lovely. So I'm just going to show you. Let's pop those to the side over here, and I'll pop them in the front of me. Now I've cut out lots of different bits of fabric. Some of it's sort of netting, some of it is sheer fabric, some of it's nice silky fabric. This is actually from a curtain. Now the hearts aren't all perfect, some of them are a little bit wibbly wobbly, but that's okay because we're building them up, we're sort of like decorating them. This is some lace, this is another little bit of something or other fabric that I have. This one, which I use a lot, which I like this one. Do you know what I mean? So you've got lots of little bits and pieces. I also have some tea stain paper, coffee stain paper in there as well. And I've got some netting. These ones are netting, so you can't really see those. But I've got some netting hearts. They were really difficult to cut out. But just cut out whatever you know, with what you've got. This is sort of like the netting, the curtain that I had. And all as I did, let me just show you, let's pop those to the side. I took some, I folded this over. Let's do some smaller ones. Where's my scissors? Let me just chop a bit off. So make yourself a little stash of hearts. Now I'm going to fold that in half, and then I'm going to fold that in again, because I want some smaller ones, because I've got quite a few bigger ones. And then I'm just going to cut, oops, if I can get to the end, just cut out a heart shape. Now you can use a template if you want to, but it's quite simple just to cut a little heart out like that. There we go. And then we have two little hearts, so it's quite simple to do. And then you can just use this bit of fabric. I've used this fabric here. I've got a pile of it here, which I've cut my hearts out. And this, if you scrunch it all up, you can tuck it in between the hearts to use as your little sort of like shabby bits in there. So that's those bits. I did cut out a few in this lovely little sequiny fabric. And I also have some of this, which is the curtain. And I've got a bit of doily there as well. And I've also got a little pile, just little bits and pieces to pop inside. Little bits of lace. So just use all your scraps. It's another one where we can use sort of like little bits of scrap lace and fabric that we've got. So don't throw anything like that away because it can be used. So let's pop these to the side and I will just show you. Oh, I also have these little bits. I've got some of my little flowers that we've made, which can go on top, whoopsie daisy, to embellish them as a little flower there, which is pretty. Got some little bows, little bits and pieces in there that we can add to it. Okay, so what we want, oh, and I got some little blingy bits, of course. We've got blingy bits in there as well. So just gather all your little bits together and then you can sit down and just make some little hearts. Now, the reason I've got some of these paper ones is just so that you've got a backing and you've also got something to stick some of your little lacy bits onto as well. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a piece of this. This is a funny shape heart. I'm going to pop it on there. So we just need to sort of like layer it up. I've got a little bit of lace, not lace. This is like netting. It's like tulle. I'm just hoping you can see what I'm doing. Then I've got this lovely bit of lace. I think it goes around this way, like that. Then I'm going to have another piece of paper in there, and I'm going to put this one over the top like that, and then smaller. So just build them up. It depends how many layers you want it to have. Then I'm going to pop a little one just in there, pop that at the top. So this is a nice little one, look, like that. So really simple. And now what I'm going to do is just go down through the middle with my sewing machine. Now you can get your little clip and clip that, but I'm just going to hang on to it for a minute. Bring the sewing machine over so you can have a quick peek. Let me just pop that under there. Now you can hand stitch it, that's no problem. Josh, I mean, you don't need a machine. It just makes it quicker. So I'm just going to quickly sew down through there. Okay, perfect. I don't think that was very straight, but that's okay. We will probably cover lots of this up. And where is my other scissors hiding? Here we go. So this is a lovely one to do, to use up all bits and pieces. Now, like I said, I was going to do a paper craft one, but I've got all my fabricy bits out, and I think, you know, fabricy bits and shabbiness go so well, don't they? Little lacy bits. Can you see? It just gives it a lovely sort of layer of different fabrics and stuff. Now I am going to scrunch it up because it's got paper in there. You can scrunch it and it will give it a little bit more dimension to it. Can you see? And then all I'm going to do, I'm going to take my glue gun, or I'm going to bring my grubby little glue gun over, and I'm going to take some pieces here, and we're going to just take some things out. Let's take a little bit of this lovely cheesecloth. Right, let's take a few pieces of cheesecloth to go in there. You can use all sorts of bits. Like I said, I've got some other netting in here. Now this netting, this is what we used last time, and if you scrunch it up, it sort of mats itself up. Probably not the best to see in here, is it? And then all I'm doing, the reason I put the paper on there is because we can glue a little bit of glue gun on the paper pretty randomly. And I'm going to stick that in, and I'm going to just stick a little bit of cheesecloth in there as well, just so all of that pokes out. Do you know what I mean? So it looks all nice and shabby. I'm going to have to get a mat, I think. I'm going to have to get a different mat to put down, so it might be easier for you guys to see. Like, what did we put in there? We put some netting, didn't we? So I need a little bit more netting. So just get all your grungily bits out, the bits that you would probably throw away, but they will be perfect in here. Now I'm scrunching this up. Now you don't have to, it depends if you like a nice tidy bit of heart, then you can just have it nice and tidy, but you know me, I like to sort of scrunch things up and make them a little bit scruffy. So we're going to pop that in there, just so these come out, and I just think they're lovely. Now I've got another bit of paper in here. Now you can obviously go in and stick things in between where the fabric is, that's not a problem. But it's easier to sort of like stick on the paper, isn't it? I'm going to use a little bit of this, just sort of chop pieces off. Don't want that piece. Take this, don't need this that little bit of netting. But this can sort of sit in there. You can see it just layers itself up nicely. Which bit? Under this bit. Oops. Put that in there. So you've got little bits hanging out. So it doesn't matter if you're not good at cutting out hearts. It really, really doesn't matter at all. Now we can have this one quite lacy, can't we? What do you think? I've got another piece in there. Or I could actually put that in that bit, couldn't I? Like that. Do we have another piece? So this is another one. If you're sort of like sitting in your craft room and you don't know what to do, anyway, it's nice to just randomly make some little bits and pieces, isn't it? And these are quite simple to do. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue on there. Stick that on. Try and leave the glue to dry a little bit so all your layers don't sort of like stick together. Going to glue this onto here. Pop that in. And it comes over, or you could come out just a little bit. Pull you out. There we are. Pop a little bit in here. So yes, I'm trying to sort of build my stash of shabby bits, like the flowers that we made, and the little hearts and the little flowers and stuff that we've made, like we did last week. Oopsie daisy. All those little bits are really nice once you start making a bigger project, or even on a journal. They look just lovely. Look at that. That looks really, really lovely, doesn't it? Got all these bits hanging out. Let's stick you in. You could probably go in a little bit more. So, love it. Right, this has got lots of little gemmy bits on, which you could probably stick on there as well. But I'm going to go in with a little flower. Let's have a look. I think that might. Do you think it's a little bit too big? That's quite pretty, isn't it? That's lovely. Look at that. How shabby and yummy is that? So let's just pop a nice big blob of glue on there. Not that you can really see that little heart underneath, but let's squeeze that down. And because we've got paper on the back, that will glue to your journal cover. Do you know what I mean? You can have that as a really lovely journal topper as well. And that's just layering up different hearts and bits of sort of fabric, little offcuts of fabric, and lots of glue strings, as I get everywhere. But look at that. I think that's just beautiful. I love them. So let's do another one. Let me put my scissors over there. Got all my little hearts on here. Let's do a smaller one, shall we? Do love this colour. I do tend to use that a lot. So I'm going to just make a smaller one. Just there. I'm not going to put paper on this one, I don't think, because I might put one of these on one of my little bags. And then when I use my bags, I don't really want paper on them. I'd rather just have them as fabric. I think that's a bit big. But I'm going to just cut one of these down a little bit just to make it a bit smaller. Let's just make this just a little bit smaller, just so it's the sort of like hearts go down in size. I think it gives it a really nice sort of look, doesn't it? Instead of them all, so you can actually see them. There we go, that's better, isn't it? Should we have a little bit of blingy on the front. Oh no, I won't cut that one up. Let me just cut a new one up, shall we? Put those to the side. Let's take a little, let me get my fabric scissors. Let's get these, chop a little bit off. Turn that over. Actually, I could probably get a couple of little hearts out of this one, couldn't I? Let's just take that. Like that. So again, if you've got little offcuts of fabric, this is perfect. Let's pop you over the side. There we go. Oopsie daisy. Let's cut them. I didn't cut that quite properly. Let's cut that little top bit. There we are. And then we've got a little sequin heart. Right, let's hold these together properly. Pop that one on. Shake this one. Pop that one on. Like that. Like that. And then we'll have our little sequin one. Oh, I think I've got another little one there. Oops, I'll pop you to the side. Don't need you on there. And like that. So that's just lots of different fabrics on there layered up. So it's really nice. Again, if you don't want to use the fabric, you can use paper. You can do this with paper. I'm going to move all these bits to the side, and then I'm just going to quickly sew this one. Bring my machine over. Oopsie daisy, if I can keep it all together. There we go, nice and quick and simple. But like I said, you can just do a little bit of hand stitching on there, just a few stitches to keep the fabrics together. Maybe I'll hand stitch one in a minute. Let's see. Let's take these little bits off. I lost my scissors, or I misplaced these scissors, and they had fallen just down the side of my desk, and they lodged themselves in between my desk and my drawers. Oh, it was taking me ages to find them. I really thought I had popped them in the dustbin. Might have just sort of like brushed stuff off my desk and popped them in the dustbin. That's what I thought. Can you see how pretty that is? We've got lots of lovely little layers in there, and I just think that's just so pretty. So simple and so shabby, isn't it? Right, shall we sort of pop things inside? Shall we add a little bit of this? I think this is sort of like a pinky colour. Not quite sure whether you can actually see that it's pink, but it is very, very pretty. I obviously coloured it at some point with something, I don't know what. And let's just get a little bit of something. Let's bring my glue gun back in again. I'm going to put it in this one, just a little bit. Little bit of glue. I'm using glue gun, but you could probably use Fabri-Tac or anything in there as well. Let's just stick that so it pops out just a little bit. That's so pretty. I will do a close-up of these. Let's go under this one. A little bit of glue, just a little bit. Don't need too much because this is sort of cheesecloth and it's very, very, you know, fine, and it will sort of stick very well, especially to my fingernails. Let's just open that up. Look at that. See, that's so pretty. Like that. What else can we pop on there? A little bit of lace on the front, do you think? We could. Do I have another piece? I've got all sorts of bits in here. That's pretty, isn't it? That's quite pretty, but I need a sort of something or other. This little bit might work. This sort of little triangle-y thing. Oh, I could probably try and make that look like a little heart, couldn't I? What do you think? Sort of heart-shaped. There we go. Pop that on there, look at that. And then, what should we stick on the front of it? Oh, we got one of our little flowers. Or should we pop this little one? This is like one of the little bits of velvet ribbon. I could pop that on there, couldn't I? I could stick that on there, and then we could have a little bit of bling on there. What do you think? What else is in there? That's a good idea. Not that you're going to see that looking like a heart, but we'll pop a little bit of glue. You can stick that down. So yes, these would look really pretty. I do have some jars somewhere, and I think these would look lovely on stuck on a side of a jar, even if you sort of painted the jar pink or something. Pretty. Pop that on there like that. Look at that. Oops. Stringy bits. Look at that. Isn't that so pretty? Lovely. Right, what do we got in our little blingy box? Where's my little blingy box? Hiding in there. All sorts. I do have some tweezers somewhere. Oh, here they are. Right in front of me. What shall we put in here? Should we have a little bit of a diamante in there? That's pretty, isn't it? Oh, I got a pink diamante there. Little pink one. Looks nice. I think I'm just going to go for the actual crystal-y looking one. Pop a little bit of glue in there. Like that. Take, whoopsie daisy. Pop that on there. And I'm going to squeeze that down. Like that. Look at that, whoopsie daisy. I'm going to pull that out. A bit silly. There we go. It's stuck to my fingers with the glue. I think what I might do is pop these little bits in there with Fabri-Tac. I think that might be easier than the glue gun. But look at that. That's so pretty, isn't it? I think that's just so lovely. And to pop that onto one of these little bags. So if I hadn't sewn that flower on, I think that would look really nice on there, wouldn't it? I think that's so pretty. So lovely. I do like them. I was making these today as well, which are like little, what they're called, sequins. These are like little sequins, and I popped a little, I've got like a little crystal in there. But they're really shiny and they're really, really pretty. And some of them I did put a little pearl. It took me a little while. There's a little pearl. I don't know whether you can see. But they are really, really lovely. Very sparkly, very pretty. So, shall we make another one? I could just carry on just making these with all this mess everywhere. I'm not quite sure whether I put all my hearts now. I think I've just pushed them over into the corner. I'm going to lose all my little ones that I've made, aren't I? That's the thing. When I've got all of these bits on the table, I do make a mess. I make a big mess. I'm going to take my little heart, one of these at the back, as the back, and then pop that on like that. Pop that on. We'll have, I'm not going to put that one on today, we're just going to have some white ones on here. Pop another little bit of paper so we can have some bits hanging out. We'll have a little bit of sparkly on top. We'll have, actually I don't want to see that stripy paper on there. I'll have to cover it up. I put that down. Another one on there. Just cover those up like that. Then we can put something pretty on there. What can we put on there? What have we got? We've got this lovely, look at that. That would look nice, wouldn't it? That's what I'm going to put on there. Then we've got lacy bits. Oh, I'll add some of those in a minute. Or shall I pop a little bit of lace on there? Let me just take this off. Oh, decisions. I know this isn't a heart, but I think I'm going to sew that on there like that. So we've got that in the middle hanging down. I think that will look nice. They do look scruffy. Things do look scruffy before you add all the other little bits, don't they? So bear with me because that looks a bit messy. But let me just move this over and I'll pop a few stitches. I won't hand sew this one. I will just pop this on the sewing machine. Let's just sew down through there. Make sure we are all level in there. There we go, perfect. Take the little bits off. Not that you really need to cut these threads off because it's so got bits all over the place. Look at that. Oh, I like that. What to do with my flower? Trouble is, I throw things on my desk. I sort of like do that, and they sort of like everything goes everywhere. Look at that. How simple was that? That's really nice. I'm going to add a little bit of cheesecloth in here. And we've got this little back bit, or I might even add a little bit of, let's scrunch some of this up a little bit, just so we've got, this one could be sort of lacier, couldn't it? Do you know what I mean? So these just stick out. I'll use the glue gun for the lace, but not for the cheesecloth, because the cheesecloth just makes a big mess everywhere, doesn't it? When it gets stuck. Oh, this one's going to be lovely. Let's take all these little bits. What's this little bit? This one can go over on this side. Let's just glue and stick. Oh, I think that's a heart. Oh, have I gone and stuck that down? Oh, we don't want to stick the heart down, do we? Now I'm stuck. I need to find a little bit of something. There we go. Oh, look at that. That will fit perfect. There we go. So that's just popping out of the sides. You see. Look, that's a little heart. I must have cut that out as a heart. Can't really see it on there, but I will use that in a bit. Okay. This is pretty. So if I put that on there, we could have this sort of dangling down, couldn't we? Yes, I will do that. Let's lift this up. What should we put under there? Should we put some cheesecloth in there? White or the pink? I don't know where the pink is now. It's going to have to be white. I think I might have just used what I had on my table actually. Let's open this up. So, well, I hope this gives you a sort of idea anyway of adding bits. But like I said, you can do it with paper, layer up bits of paper, and then maybe pop some little bits of cheesecloth or something in there as well. Now we're going to use my Fabri-Tac. No, I'm not, because it's not here. I tidied my desk and put my glue away, so we're going to have to use the glue gun. Let's add a bit more glue. I'll put it away because I knew we weren't going to be using it. I was just using the glue gun. But never mind. Let's take this. It might be a bit easier. That all coming out pretty, so pretty. This one. A little bit of glue, a little bit of cheesecloth in there. So that just comes out. Oh, so pretty. Look at that. How lovely. Let's just take that much. Pop that over there. That can just hang down. Just take that in there. Let's push that down with this. There we go. So when you're doing things like this, basically anything goes, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? So as long as you've got your sort of basic hearts on there to make these, or you can have circles, you don't have to have hearts. But look at that. And then you use your flowers and your little bits that we've made in previous videos to embellish them if you have already made them. But look at that, how lovely and simple is that, and it's so shabby. And because, like I said, I've got paper on the back, that can be glued to the front of a journal cover. It can actually go in a journal because look, it's not very thick. Although it's got these lovely layers on there, it's not very thick at all. But it's just so pretty. Right guys, so we've made 3. We've made this one, and look at that fancy one. Do you think I need a bow? It needs a bow, but I think this is a wrong pink, isn't it? What about this colour? Oh, that's nice. I've got a little double one there. That's pretty. Maybe that colour would look nice, wouldn't it? Just needs, because I've got the stitching there, I think I just need something that's coming down through there. I think that's what I'm going to do. Pop a little bit of glue on there and add a bow. Shabby and bows go as well, don't they? So maybe we could have a Saturday of making different bows in different sort of fabrics and twines and things like that. Maybe I will do that. But look at that, that's pretty. So you can always go back and add a little bit more to each thing that you see. Let's get my glue off my nails. Right guys, let's find our hearts that I've just thrown all over the place. We have some like this. Now I am going to sew. Should we do a little bit of hand sewing? Look, we've got these ones and these ones. Just a little bit. Add little bits up like that. Do I have any other ones? That can go on top. What else have I got in here? I've got bigger ones. I'm quite liking these like that, just layering these up. Look, my hearts don't look very hearty, do they? This one I could then just pop on the front. Look at that. That's got lots of lovely layers in there. Right, I'm going to attempt to hand sew this. I have our lovely little pincushion. I'm going to, oh, it has got thread in it. Need to make some bigger projects as well, don't we? I know we've made the pincushions, we did the picture frame. So if you've got any ideas of what you would like me to make, do let me know in the comments underneath, and I will give it a go. If there's something you wanted to do and you haven't done, or you're unsure of how to do something, then let me know and I will have a go at making it, or embellishing it, or something or other. So I'm just going to just go down the middle, a few little stitches just to stitch them together. So this is very relaxing, isn't it? A little bit of hand sewing, which I have been doing in the evenings. I've been making those bags. I've got my cotton cord round the little heart. There we go. I've been sewing those bags in the evenings, which I'm finding really nice and relaxing to do. Do you know what I mean? Sort of mindlessly watching the telly and working, because there's not really a huge amount on the telly at the moment. I'm not really a TV person, but I do like to obviously sit downstairs with Andy in the evenings, but I always like to do something. So sewing little bits and pieces and making my flowers and things in front of the TV is what I like to do. I don't know whether you guys are the same. Do you sit in front of the telly and work? Or do you just stay in your craft room as long as possible, if you can? So, look at that. That's fabulous, isn't it? So that was pretty simple. And then we've got that together. Look, don't look at the back. Don't look at the back, because the back's probably very untidy. But let's pop a little knot in there. Let's just secure that. Like that. Pop that in there. And chop that off. And there we go. So if you don't have a sewing machine, look at that. That's very, very lovely, isn't it? So we've got nice little things. I have made a couple of, I think I made one of these and popped it in one of my journals. And just stuck it on the page, just down through this. I put a little bit of glue on there. So it's very sort of tactile in your journals and very sort of thin. So it's, you know, it's not going to take up lots of room and be too bulky. I think this one doesn't really need a huge amount. I quite like it. I think adding that little bit of lace on the top worked really well. Or maybe just a little pearl around the edge. What do you think? That's very blingy, isn't it? What's that one? We've got that one. I know you can't answer me, but I wish you could sometimes. What do you think? Just a nice simple little pearl, I think, on there. Let's pop that on. Or maybe we could pop a little bow on there as well. Let's pop that there. Stick that on. And then I've got, oh, look at that. That's so pretty, isn't it? I've got a couple of these little bows. Yeah, maybe next week we'll do bows. Should we do bows? I always change my mind though, so I really shouldn't say anything, because by the time next week comes, I would have thought of something else completely different to do, or I will be making something that I've been doing and then want to share it with you. So let's just stick that in there like that. Oh, look at that. That's very simple and very easy to do, isn't it? Do you like these little long bits hanging down? But look at that, guys. So nice, simple one really for you this week. And pretty. Aren't these just so pretty? Again, you can do them in all sorts of different colours. You don't have to stick to the, you know, the pinks. If you like sort of like shabby greens and the blues, you can use that. It depends what fabrics you've got. But again, you can use paper as well. Don't forget, you don't have to. If you're new to all of this, just use paper and make some beautiful little paper ones. And maybe you could get a little bit of ribbon to make a little bow with. But I just think they are so pretty, don't you? Oh, look, I got strings, my little strings. There we go. So there we go, guys. A nice little hearty one. A nice, pretty little hearty one. And these are the ones that I've made previously. This is just a little bit of the chain. I popped a little bit of glue down. I think I used my gem tack glue, the gem glue, and then just pop the little bits of blingy chain on there. This one's got a little bow on there. This has got lots of little bits. So if you put paper in between, just stick your little bits of fabric onto the paper. and then scrunch them up, do what you like. Just a little idea of things. Look at them, I just love them. Nice little thing to pop in my stash for when I need a little pretty heart. That one's got a little bit of tulle on there. And then this one, I sort of got bigger and then I've gone smaller. So again, all sorts of different sizes, but I just think they are just beautiful. So there we go, guys. That is a little shabby one for our Shabby Saturday. And I think they are so pretty. Well, I hope you're going to give them a go. And if you do, again, please do pop them into the Facebook group, because I would really, really love to see them. And I'm sure everybody else would love to see them as well. So have a fantastic rest of the day. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you soon. All right, guys, bye-bye.